How America's intervention could change the Gaza Strip landscape. Please be aware that all my podcasts are based on internet research, history, biblical, Quran, and current events. I am not a journalist, but rather a content creator. I also use AI to help with outlines and up-to-date internet research sites. Welcome to my podcast. This show is titled America's Middle East Riviera, the show where we delve deep into the most pressing global issues. I am your host, Daniel, and today we are tackling an urgent question. Is President Trump serious about taking Gaza and rebuilding it into a Middle East Riviera, or is he just creating a situation to secure a stronger bargaining position in the ongoing ceasefire negotiations? Is there still a path to peace? Stick with us as we break it all down. The Gaza Strip has been a focal point of tensions rising in the Middle East, with a long-standing humanitarian crisis affecting its population. America's intervention in the region could significantly impact the political landscape, bringing about potential diplomatic solutions to the conflict. As the United States considers its role in promoting regional stability, its involvement could be crucial in facilitating peace efforts and paving the way for Gaza reconstruction. The U.S. has a unique opportunity to contribute to de-escalating the situation and fostering an environment conducive to dialogue and cooperation. By examining the complexities of the conflict and the potential consequences of America's role, we can better understand the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for the people of the Gaza Strip and the broader region, informing a more effective approach to promoting peace and stability in this troubled area. America's intervention could completely reshape the future of the Gaza Strip, and I'm going to explain exactly how. The Gaza Strip has been a focal point of international attention for decades, with its complex web of political, social, and economic tensions. America's involvement in the region has been a topic of discussion among policymakers and analysts, with many wondering what role the United States will play in shaping the future of this troubled area. During a press conference on February 4th, 2025, President Donald Trump proposed that the United States take control of the Gaza Strip, displace its Palestinian residents, and transform the area into a Riviera of the Middle East. Now, in all honesty, we know that President Trump never reacts or acts on anything unless there is something to be gained either personally for his financial empire or for the United States. This plan includes the elimination of Hamas and the resettlement of over 2 million Palestinians to neighboring countries. Gaza itself is not particularly rich in natural resources compared to places like Greenland or Ukraine. However, there are some key economic and strategic factors to consider. Offshore natural gas. There are significant natural gas reserves off the coast of Gaza, such as the Gaza Marine Field, which remains untapped due to political and security challenges. Strategic location. Gaza's location along the Mediterranean makes it geopolitically significant, particularly for regional control and security. As for President Trump's motivations, there is no substantial evidence that he is pursuing control over Gaza for economic resources. If he shows interest, it is more likely for geopolitical reasons or as part of broader U.S. policy in the region rather than for resource exploitation. Additionally, political actions toward Gaza often involve strategic alliances, counterterrorism, and diplomatic influence rather than economic expansion. However, if President Trump is serious, he needs to weigh the options and consequences of such an action. A larger United States presence in the Middle East could trigger a war between the United States and a unified Arab world, or it could turn out to be beneficial. We must remember that such an act is not even acceptable to President Trump's good friend in Saudi Arabia. The situation in Gaza is deeply rooted in history, with ongoing conflicts between Israel and Palestine contributing to the region's instability. Previous interventions by various countries have had limited success, and the situation remains volatile. Historical tensions between Israelis and Palestinians have led to numerous conflicts, displacements, and humanitarian crises, making the Gaza Strip one of the most challenging regions to address. Recent developments suggest that America is considering a more active role in the Gaza Strip, with plans for intervention being discussed at the highest levels of government. The United States has been in talks with regional leaders exploring options for de-escalation and conflict resolution. Diplomats are working to establish dialogue between key stakeholders, aiming to find a peaceful solution to the long-standing disputes. America's potential intervention could involve economic aid, military support, or diplomatic efforts to broker a lasting peace. The specifics of America's plan are still being debated, with some arguing that a more robust military presence is needed, while others advocate for a more nuanced approach that prioritizes economic development and humanitarian assistance. The prospect of American intervention has sparked intense debate, with some arguing that it could be a meaningful change for the region. Proponents of intervention believe that America's involvement could bring much-needed stability and security to the Gaza Strip, paving the way for economic growth and social progress. America's military and economic might could help to deter aggression and create an environment conducive to peace negotiations. On the other hand, critics warn that intervention could exacerbate existing tensions, leading to further conflict and instability. The risks of unintended consequences are high, and America's actions could have far-reaching and unpredictable effects. Here's an official breakdown of the Gaza Strip's status. 1967, Israeli occupation begins. During the Six-Day War, Israel captured Gaza from Egypt, along with the West Bank and the Golan Heights. Since then, Gaza has been under various degrees of Israeli control. 2005, Israeli disengagement. Israel unilaterally withdrew its military forces and settlements from Gaza in 2005 under then Prime Minister Ariel Sharon's disengagement plan. This plan gave Gaza Strip the right to self-govern under the Palestinian Authority. Post-2005 Gaza's status. Gaza is not autonomous within Israel, like how the West Bank is under the PA, but under Israeli military oversight. Instead, Gaza functions as a de facto Hamas-controlled enclave under blockade, where Israel and Egypt maintain external control. The potential consequences of America's intervention are far-reaching, with implications for the political, social, and economic landscape of the Gaza Strip. If successful, intervention could lead to a significant reduction in violence, creating an environment in which economic development and social progress can flourish. The Gaza Strip could become a beacon of hope for the region, demonstrating that even in the most troubled areas, peace and prosperity are possible. However, if America's intervention fails, the consequences could be dire, leading to further instability and conflict. The international community would need to reassess its approach, seeking fresh solutions to the region's long-standing problems. America's actions in the Gaza Strip will also have a profound impact on the local population, who have endured decades of hardship and uncertainty. The humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip is dire, with many residents lacking access to necessities like food, water, and health care. America's intervention could bring much-needed relief, providing economic aid and humanitarian assistance to those who need it most. The psychological impact of intervention should not be underestimated, as a lasting peace could bring a sense of hope and normalcy to a population that has known only conflict and uncertainty. Furthermore, the social fabric of the Gaza Strip could be significantly altered, as intervention could lead to the rebuilding of infrastructure, the creation of jobs, and the empowerment of local communities. In conclusion, taking control of Gaza could lead to increased violence and instability in the region. The presence of U.S. troops and the potential for armed resistance from groups like Hamas could escalate conflict and jeopardize peace efforts. The proposal could be seen as a violation of international law and humanitarian principles. Forced population transfers and occupation of territory by force are widely regarded as unacceptable practices. America's potential intervention in the Gaza Strip could have far-reaching implications, both for the region and for U.S. foreign policy. The situation is complex and the stakes are high, but one thing is clear: the future of the Gaza Strip hangs in the balance. As we watch events unfold, it is essential to consider the potential consequences of America's actions, weighing the potential benefits against the risks of unintended consequences. I would like to take a moment to ask if you like this podcast and others like it, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that bell so you will be informed when I launch a new podcast. What are your thoughts on America's potential intervention in the Gaza Strip? Do you think President Trump is serious, or do you think he is just tormenting Hamas? It is still in occupied territory since 1967. Share your opinions in the comments below, and be sure to check out our previous video on Haiti's dilemma. I will leave a link in the description below.